On a gloomy, rain-drenched evening that felt uncomfortably thick with tension, Violet found herself at Whitechapel Antiques, a quaint shop nestled between somber brick buildings and dimly lit cobblestone streets. As she wandered the aisles, the musty smell of old furniture and forgotten treasures clinging to the tattered walls, she paused before a dusty shelf that housed an array of peculiar dolls. One stood out, a porcelain doll with delicately painted features, its hair a cascade of midnight black curls, and eyes that seemed unnaturally lifelike. A tag dangled from its wrist, reading simply, Eleanor. "Ah, a fine choice, madam. She's been here a while. Not many take to her," said the shopkeeper, a gaunt man with equally tired eyes. "Why's that?" Violet asked, intrigued. "Well, she has a bit of a reputation. They say she doesn't stay where you put her," the shopkeeper murmured with a grin that did little to reassure. Undeterred, Violet purchased the doll, perhaps out of curiosity more than anything else. As she returned to her small flat, a modest dwelling with scant lighting and creaky floorboards, she placed Eleanor on the mantelpiece. Not long after, the peculiarities began. The first night, she awoke to the sound of tiny feet scuffling against the wooden floors. Her heart drummed painfully as she flicked on the bedside lamp. There, standing gingerly in the doorway, Eleanor gazed at Violet with her unnervingly lifelike glass eyes. Convinced it was simply a prank of her tired mind, Violet returned Eleanor to her mantel. But each night, the doll would find a new perch, sometimes by the window, other times seated eerily on a dining chair. It wasn't until Violet prepared for sleep one evening that she noticed something chilling. Scattered around her cot were tiny footprints, marked firmly in chalk powder that Violet herself hadn't used. Panic crushed her throat as she retraced her steps, realizing she hadn't touched that powder since her last art class, stored safely in the closet. Determined to solve the unnerving mystery, Violet committed to an experiment. She sealed Eleanor in a box, gluing and taping it shut, placing it beneath her heavy wardrobe. Night turned to day, and as the sunlight barely pierced her drawn curtains, Violet awoke, only to hear a gentle knock-knock coming from the wardrobe. She flung open the wardrobe doors with a racing pulse. The box remained untouched, but standing beside it was Eleanor, her painted lips curving into what could only be described as a smug smile.